So let's take a look at the components of Alien Overrun. On the top right, we've got a couple of extra tiles here. Access corridors. These are not used in the base game. These are for more advanced games. Here we have the dice. We have the purple, orange, white, red, blue, and yellow dice. These all correspond to weapons on your rigs. We also have the A, B, and C dice. When you need to roll for a random level, you roll that dice. We also have two six-sided dice that are used to select a sector to place aliens from several of the onslaught and encounter cards. You do this by looking at the numbers on the central hub for that level, and then place it in the corresponding adjacent sector. Here we have the basic setup of the game with the level A start tile face up. All of the other tiles are shuffled around it and placed face down. Bulkheads are then placed on exits for 1, 3, and 5. And the rigs are all placed on the center start tile. On each of the other levels, we start with all of the tiles face down, denoting that these tiles are unexplored. All of the face down tiles are unexplored, including the 2 mine shafts on level B and C. A rig has to stop when it enters a sector that is face down and then flip it face up. That's the end of the rig's turn. Here are the aliens, or the alien tokens. The green one is the Swarmer. Has a 1 on it, which is its offense and defense. The purple is a warrior at a 2. The elite is the orange one, or yellow if you prefer, at a 3. The overseer is a 4 and it's red, and the aggressor is a 5 and it's blue. And then the symbol you see to the right of that is the infested symbol, so when a sector becomes infested, you place one of those tokens on it. A sector will become infested when you reach 5 aliens on it at the end of a player's turn. You remove all of the aliens that are on it, place an infested token, and an aggressor. Alright. Over here we've got the artifact and equipment crates and some tokens you can use to place on the board. To the left of it we place the green die, the teleport utility upgrade, and the green die token. These are all things you gain through the artifact deck. Here we've placed the core and the queen token, as well as the red bulkhead. You can see here on the countdown, it explains what you do each time the countdown runs down. So I'll just show you what's laid out here. We've got the countdown, and then the queen tracking card, and then these queen ability cards. Okay. Over here on the top left, I've just placed some of the extra tokens. These come off of onslaught cards, and the extra bulkheads can be placed around here. It's probably going to be annoying because it's going to zoom in and zoom out quite a bit. Here's the upgrades. The weapon upgrades are on this track. You can see what you can purchase here, and the number on them is the number available. You can see over to the left here, these are the number available. If you ever replace an upgrade on your rig, you place it here in the recycle, and then anybody can purchase it for one of any material. Otherwise, at a workshop, you must pay what's listed here to buy that upgrade. You'll see over here your rigs have slots for 2 weapons and 1 utility upgrade. And then these are utility upgrades. They're all free. They still take an action to get from a workshop, and there are 1 of each of these. Over here, we've got the sniper rig. I'm going to momentarily just take these tokens off of here because I want to flip these over. Start with all the tokens off to the side. So let's take a look at the rig mats. So on the rig mat on the left-hand side, you've got your 2 weapon and 1 utility upgrade slots. You've got 3 missiles, 3 wrenches, and 3 charges. And then you've got a little reminder here about how you construct missiles. You spend an action in phase 4 of your turn, and you can spend 1 uranium to get back 3 missiles. Well, to refill your 3 missile slots. Your rig always has a white die in combat at least, plus whatever it has from the 2 weapon slots, plus any other dice gained from other means. You always have a movement of 2. You have a health of 8, which is tracked here, and a cargo capacity of 10. You can see there's 10 little squares on there. Over here on the right, you've got your rig abilities. It costs a charge to use your ability. If it doesn't tell you that you can only use it once, you can use it multiple times until you run out of charges. And then you have other rig actions you can do. You can use an action to repair damage, 3 damage. You can use an action in combat to unlock a dice. You can unlock someone else's dice if you're in the same location as them, or you can heal another rig if you're in the same location. You may activate the roll ability of your rig, or you may also, here it says, you may move 1 additional space or sector on your turn. This is done during the movement phase. So you can say, I'm going to move 3, and as long as you don't move into a space with aliens or that's unexplored on the first 2, you can use a charge to move 1 more space. You can always move out of a space with aliens, just remember that, if you're starting in a space with aliens. Here's our encounter deck and onslaught deck. Oh, I'll go back to those. So on the back sides of these cards are another rig roll. So you see that the red one has got demolitions in combat. The green one is hacker and supply. So you have to choose one of those when you get the roll. You choose either between sniper and engineer, and over here we've got a couple of markers for the turrets that he can place. He can place 1 of each turret. This is the controller / stealth rig. Stealth is kind of like the rogue. If this were a fantasy game. And then here's our encounter and onslaught deck. I think that covers all of the parts you see here except for these tokens. These are the wrench, charge, and action tokens. And when you expend them, you just flip them over. So you can see their face down here with the black side facing up. To get back, there's spaces on the board that help you get back these tokens, reactivate them. And there are also cards in the crates and artifacts that will help. Okay, so that'll be the end of this part of the video, which is setup. By the way, the center sections here are connected, so you go from A to B to C down the shaft in the middle and back up. And there we go. Oh, materials. There's materials for the game. I just keep them off to the side over here, but you can just put little piles of them on the table, and of course piles of aliens. And there we go. Okay, let's take a look at the countdown. This is important. As this counts down, the game is over when it hits 0. So the way this works is you start at 6, and then it states here you remove 4 cards that are designated when the encounter deck runs out. This also lets you know that the core is protected by a blast door with 5 health. That's what the red stick is instead of the standard 3 health bulkhead. And then it gives you a reminder of the turn phase, movement, draw, combat, action. So let's take a look at the encounter deck, and we'll show you what you remove when the deck runs out. Let's flip this over. And you'll see here, I'm going to zoom in. On the bottom right corner, there's a little number on these cards. That little number on the card right there, that gets removed after that countdown is over. So we're on 6 right now, and when we would finish, So you can set these aside as you're playing to make it easier so you don't have to go through the deck like this. Unless you want to go through the deck. But you'd set aside all the 6s from the encounter deck. For some reason, there's not enough cards here. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay, so there are 24 cards. And you will set aside the 6s after this moves down. So when you run out of cards, move this down 1. Take out the 6s, shuffle, and play. And on this last time through, you don't remove the 2s. There are 2s in here, but you don't have to remove those. The harder version of the game removes the 2s. The base version of the game does not play with the extra corridor tiles and does not remove the 2s when you reach 2 and 1. So you have so each player will actually take 6 turns on countdown 6. Each player takes 5 turns, 4 turns, 3 turns, 2 turns, and then 2 turns on these times through the deck. So you play a total of 22 turns. If you remove the 2s when you go from 2 to 1, then you would each play only 21 turns, and the turns would match perfectly to the number on the countdown. When it reaches game over, the core explodes, and the alien queen does whatever she does that makes the game end, and you lose. Not certain what she does yet. Over here is the queen. When you damage the queen, you move the track down. So she starts at 25 health. You can see we have a little cube here, and we just move it down the track until she has 0. So we'll show you combat with the queen later. These cards, they move up when an onslaught card is drawn that has a little symbol on the bottom. So let's say I drew this onslaught card. I would do the card from the top to bottom. My rig would swap sectors with another rig on the sector. If the sector I now land in is infested, I would do the infested line. And then I would do this symbol, and I'd move the symbol up 1. So I went from 0 to 1. Nothing triggers. But let's say I was already at 1 and I did that. I moved it up to 2. It would trigger this line. See how there's a little red in this line here? It would trigger this section of the card, which is half of an Overrun card. It's just the elite alien placement of the Overrun card. And then here you see this one does a red placement of 2 aliens on each level. And then this one does 3 damage to all rigs no matter where you are. The intention is that each of these cards will have a scenario booklet that matches these cards to a specific scenario, or a stack of just 6 of each of these, and you randomize what abilities the queen has at the start of the game. This track is the defense track. You can see here when it reaches 2 and you're the active rig, you'll get teleported. This one teleports all the rigs at the same level as the queen. And this one teleports all rigs and they go all over the place. If you get to the 6 on defense and you're close to the end of the game, this could be a showstopper. You pretty much could just lose the game. The blue one, this is called mobility. These special ones, these blue ones, all have different names, like mobility, and there's an altered reality one that we're not testing yet, things like that. So you would actually move this up, and when it hit here, it would move all aggressors 1 sector, and it's like the blue alien part of Overrun card. Here's one that makes the queen move twice. So the queen will actually run away from you throughout the base. So it is kind of important to keep the base clean. Okay, looks like we're recording. I had a little mishap. So let's go ahead and go through a sample turn. So I'm going to start by having the combat rig, the red rig, play. And the red rig is going to go here. He can move up to 2, but he has to stop when he reaches a unexplored sector. These are all unexplored, all face downs, including the center shafts on the other levels. So he could try to he can go from here to here if he wants, down to level B, and then flip sector B up, but he has to stop there on this shaft. So let's see what he got here. Or what sector is he in? He got the security sector, which lets him remove a bulkhead for an action on phase 4. Go here and look at the actions again. Move, draw, combat, action. So we're going to go ahead and draw our encounter card. Ooh, this looks like a bad one. So here's how these encounter cards work. If they've got a letter on the left here, or an infested symbol, you read them from the top to the bottom. If there's a gray line with no letter, you do that no matter what level you're on. But if I'm on level A, I do the A line. If I'm on level B, I do the B. Level C of the base, I do C. And if that sector's infested, I also do this line. Well, none of the sectors are currently infested. They would have the infested token or a symbol permanently printed on the hex on the sector. So let's go ahead and look. It places 2 swarmers. 1, 2. They each take a 1 to beat, so a single white dice is all I roll in combat. If another rig were here, I would roll a second white dice. Just one or more other rigs, and you roll a second white dice. That's the support dice. But no other rig is there. So I will, on combat, he gets to, as a special ability, he can use a charge to add a red dice to the combat. He can do this once. He only gets 1 extra red dice. He can also let someone else use a red dice if he's the same or adjacent space. So I'm going to go ahead and spend my charge. And I had some of these flipped over by accident here. So I spent my charge. And now I'm going to roll a red dice additionally in combat. Red is area damage, so I need a 1 on either dice no matter what. Okay, so that is not a 1 on each dice. That is a wrench and a lock. The red dice is a lock. That's not going to work. I need to spend the wrench over here to unlock it. Now I'm going to actually go ahead and keep the wrench, because that'll get a wrench back for me at the end of combat. And I'm going to roll the red dice. I need a 1 or a 2. And I rolled a 2, so that does area damage, which means it hits both of these aliens. Both aliens are dead. This wrench on the white dice means I get a wrench back. And I'm going to go ahead and, so this sector I can use my action. Now we're on we've now moved down to phase 4. So we already did combat, now we're on action phase. In the action phase, you can do what's on the sector you're on. That's your action. You can take that as an action. So I can remove a bulkhead that's adjacent to an explored sector. Explored sectors are the face-up sectors. So I could get rid of any of those 3 bulkheads. And then I can take a second action. And that second action is a paid action. I would have to spend a wrench to take that second action. So I could do that a second time. Alternately, if I had uranium and I was out of missiles, I could just buy missiles for my main action. Or I could use a wrench and I could take the sector action and buy missiles. So I think that part in the rules is actually pretty clear. So we're going to go ahead and just remove that one. We'll put that off to the side over here. So now let's go, it's the blue player's turn. Now blue can move here and here. And he can go here, and he can go this way and go to here. He cannot go to here because there's a bulkhead in the way, and he would have to stop because he's flipping these over. So he's going to go 1, 2 and see what's here. Okay, he has found the ore vein of tungsten. You'll see on the bottom corner here, there's a little color-coded thing. That's for if you've placed too many things on the sector and you've covered up what the sector gives you. You can see it on the corner. It's a little easier to see what produces. So let's go ahead and flip this one and find out what card we got. We got Evacuation. Wow, that worked. Move all swarmers, warriors, and elites in this sector to a random sector. Well, there are none. If there's none, we place a warrior, and the sector's not infested. So let's go ahead and place a warrior. So blue gets a white dice in combat. There's a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 2 on that dice. I could roll it, but I really want to get rid of that alien. I could ask the red guy to use the combat rig to use a charge to give me a extra red dice in combat because he's in an adjacent space. I could ask yellow, who's the hacker, down here, to activate another rig's ability. So he could force activate the red rig's ability to give me a red dice. That interaction's sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. The hacker really just activates other people's abilities for them, so it saves them from having to use a charge. They're kind of like I don't know what you call them in Star Wars, a Gronk droid or whatever, the power droid. They can give you charges, and they can also activate your ability. So he's going to activate. So let's have yellow, or let's not yellow. Sorry, green. I meant. Green is going to go ahead. He's going to flip a charge, and he's. Oh, I hate that chat thing in the corner. I wish it would go away permanently. Can I not move that thing away? Okay. So let's go ahead and use the charge down here on the hacker once this disappears. We use the hacker's charge. He gets a red dice. He's going to roll the 2 dice. Let's get in here. I got a wrench and a blank. I'm just going to go ahead and roll them both again. 1 and a 1. That's 2 total damage. That'll kill the purple alien, the warrior. And we will get... We're going to activate the space. We get a cargo. We get a tungsten. I'm going to go ahead and use an action to mine a second time, and we're going to go ahead and take a second tungsten. Now we will move on to the yellow player, who will go here. He has found the workshop. And let's see what kind of aliens he's found. He's found, this says, add 1 swarmer to this sector and add a warrior to a random sector on this level. So let's go ahead and add the swarmer. And we roll a 6-sided dice. Comes up at 3. We'll take our warrior and we'll go up here and we'll take a look. There's numbers here on the center shaft. We find 1, 2, 3, and we place it in that sector bordering the 3. So now if someone goes to that sector, they've got to contend with that alien as well. It's green alien. I'm just going to roll with the white dice and not worry about expending any resources. I roll my 1 damage. The green alien is dead. Now, let's give a quick look at the upgrades. Here you'll see I have no resources, so I have to get a utility upgrade. I can get one for free. So I can get advanced mining, which when I mine a second time in a space, I don't have to spend the wrench to do it. Extra actuator. This is the same as having an extra action. You'd have a 4th action point, essentially. Improved sensors, which I don't know where they went. Hold on. Improved sensors let me flip a tile on my level face up. That tile has to be accessible, meaning if it's completely blocked by bulkheads, you can't do it. So if something placed a bunch of bulkheads, you couldn't do it. And if it was the core, it's blocked by a red bulkhead, you can't just flip the core over. This also helps you by letting all rigs in your sector avoid ambush damage. Sort of important in that there's 1 card in the deck that does ambush damage. And say you're in a sector with 3 other rigs, all 4 of you would take 2 damage. If you had this and your utility slot, none of you would take damage because you have the sensors. You'd see them coming. Repair systems. This lets you repair 3 damage to yourself or another rig in your sector at the beginning of your turn. Targeting device. You never lock anymore in combat. You don't get a 4th roll. You still only roll 3 times, so if you lock or blank on the last roll, you're still blank or a lock. And then tuned capacitors, which is you get a 4th charge. And this is that usable and rechargeable just like a charge. You'll see the backside has a black lightning bolt as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get the sensors. We're going to try this out. So at the start of my next turn, I'll flip a sector over. So let's say at the start of my next turn, I have a choice of going here, here, or here. And I'm looking for the copper. I could just say, let me flip that one over and see what it is first, before I do my movement. And that's good in that you also help explore the base quicker. All right, so let's move to the green guy here, the hacker. He's going to go 1, 2, and go to the tungsten. And let's flip over his card. Okay, this is the Overrun. We read this top to bottom. It says, add an elite to this sector. We'll add the elite. Next, it says, roll 2 6-sided dice and place an elite on the corresponding sectors on each level. 2 6-siders. Let's roll down. I don't want the 5-5. I just want to show you on 2 different sectors. 5-1. So we get an elite and we place it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do that on each level. 1 and 5. 1 and 5. Now, continue reading down this card. It says move all aggressors 1 sector closer to the active rig. There are none. If there are no aggressors, add 1 to a random sector on level C. So let's roll the dice. We get a 1, and that places a blue alien on 1. Now, the next time this card comes up, he would move 1 sector closer, and he'll always take the shortest route to get to the active rig. So 1 sector closer would have been here had he already been there. So there he is. Aggressors don't count towards infesting a sector. Once a sector reaches 5 non-aggressor aliens, you remove all those other aliens and you place an aggressor and an infested token. Well, that probably happened later in the game. We'll show you that later. It's not infested, so we don't do the infested line. And now I have to kill these two. So I get a white dice. There's another rig present. I get a second white dice. Now I can use a missile, which will give me a yellow dice that does area damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do that. I'm just going to use that amount. Let's see what happens. Oh, no. 2 locks and a 1. So we're going to keep the 1. We're going to go ahead and wrench, unlock both of those, and roll those on my second roll. Okay, that's not good. We got a lock and a 2, so we're going to put the 2 aside. So this would kill at least 1 alien in here. Now we have our last roll, and that's locked. I'm gonna ask Blue if he'll please unlock that dice for me so I don't lose all my wrenches. So he will use one of his wrenches and unlock that. This is my last chance. I need a 2. I need a 2. I need a 2. And it's a blank. So I will do my 3 damage to one of the aliens. There's no other recourse. We don't have any special cards or... Oh, actually, yellow. Okay, so let's take a look at what yellow can do. This is a great idea, I think. Yellow is the controller. He can move up to 3 swarmers, warriors, or elites from any sector on this level to a sector that is adjacent to that one. So let's go over here and let's take a look. He's here. He can use a charge. Let's go ahead and use a charge. And now he can move that alien. He's going to go ahead and move it here. The reason he does that is because if there's an alien there, the green rig could not activate the sector. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to take his... He can activate the sector now. He's going to go ahead and take his tungsten. He's not going to spend an action to activate it again. He's going to hang on to that action point. He's only got 1 left right now. And you get them back only through rolling a wrench in combat and keeping it to the end of combat. Or there's actually a crate and a artifact that can restore them. If I wasn't playing the hacker, the supply rig on the opposite side of the hacker can also restore actions. Okay, so I've done that, and we're going to stop right there for the one time through, and I'm going to then go ahead and I'm going to play some of the game, and I'll come back and show you a little more in a little bit. All right, so we're back to the red player. I'm going to try to play this a little faster. I'm going to go through the cards and explain some of the things that we haven't seen before, and I'm going to try to get to the end of the first countdown. So, all right, let's stop that. Okay, here we go. The red player is going to move here. Oh, what am I doing here? Where's the flip? There's the flip. He got the supply depot, which lets you trade 1 for 1 for 1, so I don't have any materials yet to trade. Let's flip a card here. Add a warrior and an equipment crate here. All right, he has a white dice. He's going to use a charge and also roll a red dice in combat. Rolled a 1 on the red, we'll keep that. Let's roll the white, and we rolled a 1, that's 2 damage. He's dead. An equipment crate. What do I get? Portable charger. Restore 2 charges to a rig in your sector. Discard when used. Can be used as a fast action. Okay. Blue's turn. I'm going to use this to actually track where I'm at. So Blue's turn. Blue's got a couple of tungsten. He's going to go one. He's going to go here. Why not? That is the copper. Let's flip this card. All right. This is patrol. It's level A, so we only do the green line. We add a swarmer. He gets a white dice, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to spend a missile to get a yellow, which can go up to 3. And he's going to use a charge and use his special ability. His special ability is to place a support turret. So even if there's no other rigs present, he gets the white support dice. So he's going to go ahead and place that and get an extra white dice. So he's got a yellow and 2 white. And he rolled a 2 here, a lock. We're going to leave that locked, and we're going to roll the yellow. And there we go. We rolled a 3 and a 2. And we'll go ahead. So the 3 area damage would kill both of these. 3 kill them both. And the 2, well, it's just sort of wasted. Had I rolled a 1 on this dice, and say I rolled that, then the 3 would have killed the aliens, and I could have fired these 2 directly at this bulkhead to knock it out. So I will get an orange material. And it's probably not advisable to spend all my wrenches, but I'm going to go ahead and spend it and get a second orange material. Now I'm actually 2 green material away from getting this top-end weapon, or 2 green from getting the other top-end weapon. So let's go ahead and... I don't know where I'm at. Oh, yellow. Yellow's going to go ahead and move. It's going to go in here. Encounter. This is the Swarmer Overrun, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this. One of those. 2 and 3. So we place them on 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And the aggressor moves 1 space closer. Easy to kill. We're just going to roll the 2 white dice. Got a 2, 1. I don't need wrenches. Kill the green alien. Take the copper. And I'm going to go ahead and spend a wrench to go ahead and take another copper. And then green's turn. He plays last in the turn. Let's go ahead and find out where he's going to go. He'll go to the copper as well, since you can have as many rigs as you want there. You might as well. Oh, wow. And I did shuffle this. It is the purple overrun. It's the warrior overrun. So warrior 1, 5. So I actually have 2 warriors in that sector. And he moves 1 closer here. 2 warriors. So 2 white dice. Let's go ahead and see how that turns out. I need a 2 and a 2, so that's not going to be good. I'm going to need an extra dice. I'm going to go ahead and use a missile also. See what I can do with those. Oh, that's really fantastic, actually. 3 area damage will kill the 2 aliens. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these white dice on for my second roll to see if I can get a wrench. Hey, there we go, and here's my third roll. Okay, lock. So I kill all the aliens, and I get a wrench back. Kill those 2 aliens. I will take an orange material. And I'll go ahead and spend that wrench I just got back to go ahead and take the second orange material. And we'll call it right there for this time through. That's the second turn of the game. Go on to turn 3. The red combat rig needs to get some materials. He's coming over here. Flip his card. Place a green alien. Just roll the 2 white dice. Dead. Take a copper. We're going to go ahead and buy a second copper. We'll move on to blue. Blue's going to, he stays, so he adds a swarmer. Onslaught, so we get an onslaught card. Place a bulkhead at each opening on this exit. Oh no, and an aggressor to this sector. So we get a blue alien to the sector. And then bulkheads. Slam down right here. And right there. So far, that's not good. All right, so 1 white, 2 white. We're on the blue rig. He's gonna missile, I think. So he gets a yellow. He's gonna, red's gonna, let's have the hacker use a charge to hack red to give him a red dice. That is the dice I get to use. Okay, so 2, 1, let's roll this one and this one again. He's gonna, oh, that's not the right guy. He has no wrenches to unlock. He'll unlock one of his locked dice. Oh, I forgot to move the green up. That also moved up 1. So now I've done 2, 3, 4 damage. Oh, who else is there that can unlock? Let's have him unlock a dice for me. Last roll. Yay! 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Whoop, 4, 5. And that'll kill that and that. But that's not enough to take out a bulkhead. So we got a little problem happening here. So that was the blue player. He got another orange material. Yellow has to stay because he can't get out through the bulkhead. He gets another green alien there, so there's 2 green. Just rolling 2 whites, and he's gonna go ahead and use a missile. Try to clear that, clear one of the bulkheads out of there. 1 and a 1. He needs 3. Come on. And a 2. Well, I need to get the bulkhead out of the way, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to kill 1 alien. I'm going to remove that bulkhead. And use a charge to move that alien there. Let's see here. This says move up to 3 swarmers warriors released from any sector on this level on an adjacent sector. We'll just put the alien out there. That'll block people. Whoever moves out is going to have to stop there, but that's fine. That lets me at least take another copper. So green's turn. Green will move out. No, green will stay. Green alien. Flip a card. Yay! This drops an orange material there, and it's a green alien. 2 green aliens, 2 white dice. Let's go ahead and roll it. 2, 1, 1. That kills those. Take my orange that I pick up off the sector, and I'll mine for 1 orange. Alright, that's good, and that will call that the end of the 3rd time around, I think. Alright, here we go for round 4, red player's turn. He's got just 2 orange. I guess he's going to go to... Oh, he's not moving the whole sector. That sucks. Can move this down here. Flip a card. Yay, there's a green material finally. Drops on that sector with a green alien. So I have a red and a green alien. We're going to go ahead and missile. Nah. Yeah, I mean, he's a charge. I mean, he's a red dice and a white dice. So that should be enough with a 1 and a 1 to kill both aliens. 2 and a 1 does just fine. Green material, black material. And blue's turn, so we'll move on to blue here. Blue. He's gonna go, oh, he's gonna have to go here. And he will flip a card. Green alien, green, green. He gets a white, and we'll place the turret there. So 2 white. Oh, lock's no good. That's gonna kill him. Not kill him, but he's locked. He can't unlock. Nobody's in the same space as him. He'll kill 1 alien and take 1 damage. Controller yellow. He'll also go out here. Or you know what? He'll use a charge. Actually, should have flipped that sector long ago. Because he's got the scanner, I keep forgetting. And he will use his ability to go ahead and move it there. And he'll go there. And flip a card. 2 ambush damage. 1, 2. And a black material. And what the hell am I? I'm lost now. I'm mumbling. Oh, a purple alien. So green, purple. We'll go ahead and do a missile. 2 damage kills everything there. 1, 2, 3 of them. Get a wrench back. I will trade. Two of these orange ones for 2 green ones. No, we'll trade a black one to get an orange one back. I want 2 orange, a black, and 2 green. And that is the end of that turn, so we'll go ahead and stop that. Okay, I skipped over a few turns here, or not skipped over. I played a few turns off camera. We're getting down to the last time through the deck, the last turn for the first time through the deck. So it is let's take a look at where we're at here. We have 1 upgrade so far. We've got a red dice on the yellow rig. So it's now the red rig's turn. He failed at killing some aliens here last turn, and yellow came in and took it out. So he stays and then places an elite and an artifact. That's not an artifact. That's an artifact. And he's going to go ahead and use a missile. So he's got a yellow, a white, and a white. 2 damage. area, kills N+1, kills those 2 aliens. I gotta pay attention that I'm recording. So he will spend his materials here. And I will buy the red die. It is the blue player's turn. And he has enough to buy... Oh, he can buy a super duper weapon. He's going to go ahead and go over there. By over there, I mean to the workshop. Gets a green alien, so that's a couple of white dice. Might as well just roll the 2 white dice. Green alien's dead. No wrench, so I'm going to go ahead and spend all of that. And I'm going to buy the orange dice. I'm gonna save some time. I'm going to go ahead and spend a wrench, even though I probably shouldn't. I'm going to go ahead and buy the healing utility upgrade. Move on to the yellow player, who has got his first upgrade. He's going to go 1, 2 down to the 2nd floor. We're going to flip this over. Place level B, the purple alien. And we will roll a red and a white dice against this purple alien. And I get a lock, of course. Let's flip one here. 2 and a 1, that'll kill it. And here's the cool thing. I can't do anything else here, so I can regain a wrench. Last card. Let's go ahead and place it over here. And we're going to have green move across. Flip the card. It is a green alien, so that's a white and a white. Kills it. Can we roll a wrench back? Nope. But we will kill the green alien pretty handily. We will go ahead and spend... We're gonna do something kind of crazy. We're gonna buy the purple die. And again, I'm also I'm gonna spend my last wrench on purchasing the no lock. You know what? No. I'm going to get for free the... what do I want? I'm going to go for the charges. Get an extra charge. Okay. And thus ends the first time through the deck. We move the countdown down 1. We gotta find the... There's a way to do this, a shortcut to do this, and I can't remember what it is, but we'll take the 6s out. There they are. So the 6s come out of the deck. And we're ready to play the second time through the deck.